You work for it very hard. You have good and bad moments.
A lot of dust, so it's hard to see. People crashing, breaking things on the bike.
It's a long week and, in the Cape, everything can happen.
It's Cape Epic, everything can happen.
It became like the Tour de France of mountain biking.
It's my first yellow jersey.
It's getting faster and faster.
The 20th Absa Cape Epic built on the legacy of the world's premier stage race to produce a route in the Western Cape which challenged and rewarded. A route which included 617 arduous kilometres of racing and 16,500 metres of accumulated ascent. From race villages at Lawrenceford Wine Estate, Saronsburg Estate in Tilbach, CPUT's Wellington campus and Kutzenberg in Stellenbosch, the course took in high mountain passes and scintillating single tracks through some of South Africa's most iconic mountain biking regions. Though there were over 50 teams registered for the UCI men's race, there were three primary protagonists who emerged from the crucible of competition to challenge for the 2024 title. They were World Bicycle Relief's 10-time cross-country world champion and Olympic gold medalist Nino Schurter and his partner in fundraising and racing for charity, Sebastian Finney. The effervescent and popular Baf Megamo combination of Dutch marathon champion Hans Becking and his European marathon champion partner Wout Alleman, and the defending Absa Cape Epic champion Matt Beers. The South African would be lining up alongside 2018 winner Howard Grotts. The 26-kilometre prologue course suited the cross-country specialists on paper, but Schurter and Finney knew that even if they put in a standout opening day performance, the race was long and anything could happen. Yes, Finney and I certainly have the potential to win the race. We are both very strong riders. We are both very similar riders. We can benefit from each other very well. But yes, it's the Cape Epic, and a lot can go wrong. We hope that luck is on our side and we can compete for the win.
I think for me personally to win the Epic, it would be really, really big. And as well, to do it alongside Nino would be even bigger. I mean, yeah, I think it's a race I always want to win. Since I was here in 19, I needed to come back. I had the feeling that I wanted to win this race one day. So yeah, for me it would be really cool.
World Bicycle Relief's prologue performance was no surprise. Baf Megamo's ride to the third fastest time on the day suggested that they were more than just fan favourites in 2024.
It's the biggest race of the year for us, and we have a super strong team this year, and I'm super excited already. A lot of horsepower, and for me a lot of lactate behind my ears till I'm exploding in lactate, I guess. No, I think with Wout we have a really strong rider, and the team every year has been growing, as everybody can see, and now it looks very promising.
For Beers and Grotts, the prologue was the first test of a new partnership.
I mean, it's excitement and nerves. This year's a super hard course. It's going to be hot. It's quite a lot more brutal than the last few years, I think. It's a whole different dynamic. Obviously, I raced with Chris the last 2 years, so now with Howie, it's going to be quite cool to have a different partner. It's always a bit exciting to figure things out almost.
The excitement and nerves at the opening stage were exorcised by the tough course and flat-out racing, from which Schurter and Finney emerged with a 51-second advantage on Beers and Grotts. Becking and Alleman were a further 41 seconds back. Yes, it was certainly only the first test, but the prologue was certainly a tough start, and it's good that the partnership with Finney worked out. It went very well, and I'm really looking forward to the next 7 days. It will certainly be something completely different over the longer distances. Now we have a few long days ahead of us, but different terrain. But of course, we have now been able to fill up on good motivation and good morale, and are looking forward to the next 7 days. The first marathon stage took place from spectacular Saronsberg Estate in the Tilbach Valley. The 88-kilometre route included 2,400 metres of climbing, with the day's most testing ascents backloaded on the course. This meant that the early phases were a tactical affair and allowed Grotts to reclaim his spot in the lead group after 2 innocuous crashes. The American grew into the stage, while some of the Toyota Specialized 91 team's key rivals faded, until only Buff Megamo, World Bicycle Relief, and Willie Vittoria's Fabian Rabensteiner and Samuele Porro remained in contention with Beers and Grotts, though the Italians slipped out of contention for stage honours.
It's still very early in the week, still 6 very hard days, but I always think the first big stage is very important for the overall. It's like a benchmark for the rest of the week. And to even win it, it's amazing. With Wout in the team, it brings a lot of pressure for me, but I'm up for the task, and this is really nice for me also personally.
Actually, we didn't have time to make a plan because it was super fast in the final, and yeah, I wanted to be in the first position when we come here in the final straight, but Nino passed me in the end, and I just tried to be as fast as possible at the finish line, and then Hans was behind me, so it was up to Hans. But when I looked behind and I saw that Hans was in front of Vini, I was just super happy. It's my 3rd stage win, but still feels like the first one. It's really special, and yeah, I'm super happy.
Buff Megamo's stage win elevated them from fan favourites to serious contenders, while World Bicycle Relief were happy to extend their general classification lead by 21 seconds over Beers and Grotts. The defending champion had crashed in the closing kilometres and ceded time on a tough day for Toyota Specialized 91. Stage 2 would take the teams into the Witzenberg Valley along an old wagon trail climb. The stress of the single-track ascent within the opening 10 kilometres put everyone on edge, but still, Finney was unable to avoid issues. The Dane punctured ahead of the climb, which left him and Schurter with a day-long chase through the field. He was not the last to puncture, however. Beers cracked a rim 10 kilometres from an aid station and had to nurse his rear wheel across rugged terrain, while Porro also flattered for Willie Vittoria. At the start of the final climb, Buff Megamo and Obealiet Speed Company were racing head-to-head, having both enjoyed trouble-free days to that point. Becking and Alleman distanced Georg Egger and Lucas Baum on the ascent, descended with reckless abandon, and then time-trialled their way into yellow.
Well, I think I almost have all the leader jerseys in the Epic series, and this one was missing, and getting it on my birthday, it's without words.
Oh, it's my first yellow jersey, and it's so special. I've been dreaming about this for a really long time, and to make it happen today, together with Hans, one of my best friends, I think it's amazing. I have not so much word for this.
After 3 days of racing at the 2024 Absa Cape Epic, the general classification lead had changed hands. With World Bicycle Relief losing 2 minutes and 2 seconds on stage 2, they trailed the new leaders Buff Megamo. Toyota Specialized 91 were 3rd at 1:52.
To be honest, I think we have 4 or 5 teams really close to each other. I think it will be the 20th Cape Epic will be, I think, the most exciting one till Stellenbosch.
It's been already a week of happiness for me. I think I've been smiling every day. This is part of the team spirit, riding with Wout, finally having a leader of a yellow jersey in the Cape Epic, which always was a dream. Yeah, of course, I've been racing for 20 years, as old as the Cape Epic, more or less.
I've never been on the overall podium. Last year I finished 4th, so it would be really nice to finish on the podium. And yeah, to win it will be super difficult, but of course for us it's the highest possible. And it would be nice, but will be super difficult. Sometimes it was on the limit, but we have been joking and having fun all day. And you know, there is always some bad moments, but we had more good moments than bad moments. And like to have the yellow jersey together, it's something that I will remember for the rest of my life.
Since its foundation in 2004, the Absa Cape Epic has grown from a great idea into the world's premier mountain bike stage race. One of the legends of the event is inaugural champion Karl Platt. I started in 2004, winning right away with Manny Heymans back then. So if I compare the first Cape Epic in 2004, that was really an adventure race. You just had to gain experience, and it got to a level relatively quickly in 2005, 2006 and 2007, where you really stood out from the whole mountain bike world. It quickly developed into the Tour de France of mountain bikers relatively early on in 2007, 2008. One of the greatest moments was really in 2007. The first victory was Stefan Sam here. We came here as a new team, Team Bulls, and we had no expectations. Back in 2007, it was a huge field with world champions and World Cup winners and Olympians and so forth. And we won the first stage straight away, and it was a hot race with lots of drama back and forth. And then we won it in 2007, and it was something very special, and that's where the story began until today. I would be lying if I said it meant nothing to me. Of course it means a lot to me to have 5 Cape Epic wins under my belt.
Platt's primary rival and fellow 5-time winner Christoph Sauser was in a reflective mood at the start, eager to look back on his legacy at the race. Certainly every single victory. Of course, it's not necessarily just one moment. The best win was definitely with Jaroslav Kulhavi when we got the leader's jersey back, the year after Barry Stander died. We thought we probably couldn't win the Cape Epic, always had problems, and suddenly we were in the leader's jersey.
After a relatively quiet Stage 3, which saw the race move from Tilbach to Wellington via the ascent of Bainskloof Pass, Stage 4 would be the Queen Stage. Stacked with climbing and incredible single tracks, the route provided the terrain for significant gaps to develop. Going into the day, World Bicycle Relief had dropped to 3rd, following a day of mechanicals en route to Wellington, while Baf Megamo held a 2-minute advantage over Toyota Specialized 91. In the early phases of the stage, Canyon City, who had surged to stage victory the day before, were active on the front. The usual protagonists, Beers, Grotts, Schurter, Finney, Baum, Egger, Becking and Allemann. The early climbs served to establish World Bicycle Relief, Toyota Specialized 91 and Canyon City as the day's powerhouse teams, and left the men in yellow chasing to limit their time losses. A puncture did not help Becking and Allemann's cause, even though it only took them a handful of seconds to repair it. By the time the leaders neared the cliffhanger, Baf Megamo had slipped into 3rd on the virtual general classification.
Obviously we saw Buff were starting to struggle in the heat. I think that was a very telling sign yesterday. And so we kind of knew that we could probably do something today. Canyon City kind of did it for us. They were motivated, so we were like, well, we'll just carry on with this. So yeah, chapeau to them. But yeah, Nino, he's fierce, you know, he's like, he's an animal, and he's gonna go out there for the next 3 days and he's gonna try to rip our legs off. So we just got to play the game straight back.
Come on, South Africa, bring them home. They're coming around the corner. Remember, from the stage, it's the second bike over the line that counts. It's a huge sprint to the line. Look at the goal.
Yeah, it's really nice to win the Queen Stage, and just to win a stage here in the Cape Epic is special. I mean, we got the first one on the prologue, and then we had 3 hard days, I must say. We suffered mechanicals, but today we had no issues. We went through the plan, and we made it to the finish, and we are obviously really happy.
Toyota Specialized 91's second place on the day was enough to leapfrog them up the leaderboard into the yellow jerseys. They would take a 2-minute lead into Stage 5. Baf Megamo dropped from 1st to 3rd. Passing the midway mark in the race, Beers and Grotts had overcome difficulties on stage 1 and 2 to ride their way into the overall lead.
It's my home race, it's the biggest race, one of the biggest mountain bike races in the world, and it just happens to be like a stone throw away from my house. So the support is incredible. We're in the leader's jersey now, 3 days to go.
Yeah, I think that, you know, there's maybe some pressure associated with yellow, but you're so focused when you're on the bike racing. Like, you know, your primal instincts kind of kick in, and you can forget about it and just keep the bike upright, follow the right wheels, and yeah, push the legs hard again. Obviously, we're kind of on two ends of the spectrum physiologically, but I think we both can kind of dig deep, yeah, when we need to. So, you know, I kind of plain and simple have to sit in on some of the flats, and I'm working. You know, it's not a walk in the park, and you know, I think the same goes for Matt when it gets really steep. But that works for whatever reason. You know, two riders with the exact same skill sets could actually maybe suffer when they're both out of their element, and so yeah, we kind of work together.
It's not something that you can do everything right and not get it, you know. It's so I think to cherish wearing it is also good. You know, there's a lot of pressure, like how it said, and like I said, it's a heavy jersey, and but I think you also have to embrace it, because yeah, you could never wear it again as well, due to circumstances that you're not in control of. So yeah, embrace it, soak it in, and just don't look down at it while you're racing. Just pretend you have your normal jersey on, and then if it's still yellow at the ceremonies after the stage, then you've done a good job.
Racing into the final 3 stages, Toyota Specialized 91's biggest rivals for overall victory were the World Bicycle Relief team of Schurter and Finney. Something you have to learn at the Cape Epic is that everything can change extremely quickly. You can lose a lot of time very quickly. At the moment, Specialized are certainly our main rivals again.
That was for sure to be in the yellow, to win the first stage, the prologue, and to defend it on the next day, and 3 days in yellow has been really nice, and hopefully we can get it back for Sunday. Yeah, as you say, we are good friends. We have been training a little bit together, but it's different to be racing, and for sure he's really strong. I try to hang on every day and to stay as close to his wheel as possible, both in the climbs and the downhills. But I also learned that he's also just a human. I mean, sometimes he's also suffering like I am. So yeah, he's not a superhuman every day, and that's actually also nice for me to see that he's also just a rider, and also the fun aspect. I mean, when every time we go downhill, we have so much fun, and I mean that's also what the race is about.
Ja, es würde mir sehr viel bedeuten, können das Cape Epic zum 3. Mal gewinnen.
Yes, it would mean a lot to me to win the Cape Epic for the 3rd time, especially Stellenbosch, which is almost my second home. I spend a lot of time down there in the European winter, and it's a place I love to be. And of course, it would be nice if we could come in as winners on the last day and celebrate there. Yes, that would be a great success.
Ja, wäre schon ein grosser Erfolg dann.
Yeah, we are cooking, racing, sleeping. I massage Nino, he massage me. Small team.
Away from bike racing, the world's most celebrated mountain biker is also an accomplished helicopter pilot. With the race transferring from Wellington to Stellenbosch after stage 5, Schurter flew one of the media helicopters over the winelands. Below, once they summited the Simmelsberg, the trails for stage 6 and 7 came into view. The bird's-eye oversight of the courses to come left no illusions as to how tough the final 2 days of the 2024 Absa Cape Epic would be. The penultimate stage was packed with climbing in the Simmelsberg just outside Stellenbosch, and it was a day Beers had been anticipating.
And I think stage 6 is a big day for sure. I think a lot of people maybe haven't focused on that day too much, but it's going to be a doozy.
The knowledge that it was going to be tough and the early morning drizzle all played into the hands of Toyota Specialized 91. Beers and Grotts could mark moves and let their rivals set the pace until the day devolved into a war of attrition.
Yeah, it was. I think it was a pretty hard stage. Like, it was pretty slow going. Like, it was slippery, super slippery. There were quite a few crashes out there. Yeah, at this stage of the week, like, you're just going through the motions and you just want it to end, kind of thing. You're not necessarily enjoying it, but it was the last single track was really cool coming down, and I'm glad we could just get some more time. Like, tomorrow is a proper day. I think it's one of the gnarliest last stages of Epic we've had in a while, so to just get a little bit more time for anything that could and can happen, it makes it a little bit more reassuring.
Heading into the final stage with a comfortable lead, the Toyota Specialized 91 team knew that they had to bring it home safely to write themselves into Absa Cape Epic record books. For Beers in particular, this was pertinent.
It would be amazing. It would be 3, and I don't think there's a big pot of people that have won 3. I think it's like Carl and Susie that have won 5, and then there's a few of us that have won 2, and I think Yaro's won 3. So yeah, it would be a nice little elite status, I guess. But it's cool for the country and to inspire people and kids for sure in South Africa.
On the famous single tracks of Jonkershoek, the final stage was blown wide open by the Bulls Mavericks. Urs Huber and Simon Schneller had endured a quiet preceding 7 days, but it conserved their energy for a big last day effort. Initially, the men in yellow went with them, using the stage leader's aggression to pull them away from dangerous rivals behind. But when it became clear that World Bicycle Relief's second position was more at risk from Buff Megamo, ahead of Schurter and Finney on the trails, Beers and Grotts were able to ease up slightly. This in turn allowed Huber and Schneller to ride their way into a potential stage-winning position. You simply have to say that the Cape Epic is probably the most important event of the whole year next to the World Championships. And winning a stage there is very, very important for the sponsors. And for me personally, of course, it's also a huge success because more or less all the top riders are at the start here. And yes, you can definitely look to the future with confidence. Beers and Grotts wrapped up their overall victory by finishing 3rd on the final stage.
Yeah, I think it's always relief. It's a stressful week. A lot rides on this, you know, like we have so much support, so many people watching, and yeah, like a whole country for me. I do really take it, like I don't want them to be disappointed, and but yeah, also it's relief, but also just like happiness, you know.
This was great. Matt was the best partner I could have asked for. He clearly has the whole country's heart, and yeah, it was a really special race.
Yeah, defending is really hard. There's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of hype, like leading up. I think actually a lot of people had doubts about Howie. I could see in like the media, and I was like, okay, don't you worry. I mean, I know his pedigree, I know who he is as a person, I know his engine. So it was actually kind of nice for everyone to like not think that we could do it, because I was like, it's fine, we'll show you guys what we're made of.
After 8 incredibly tough days of racing, the final general classification result masks the competitiveness of the 2024 edition. The leaders' jerseys changed hands 3 times, and all 3 the podium finishers looked at points as if they would win the race overall. Yet Matt Beers and Howard Grotts best overcame their early misfortune and finished the clear strongest team at the Absa Cape Epic.